So, Sydney Coulson is obviously a player for the Indiana Fever. Someone signed to be Caitlin Clark's backup, and she is I think she's going to be a solid player. Genuinely, going to be a solid player. I don't think she's going to play much. People are saying, oh, I've actually seen, I'm not joking, one of the old idiot old WNBA media journalists say that she has been brought in to replace Caitlin Clark. That the Fever have realized Caitlin Clark because Stephanie White said we're going to be trying to play Caitlin Clark off the ball a little bit and running different stuff. According to some people, I can't remember where I read it, but they believe that Sydney Colson is actually coming in to start at the point guard, and Caitlin Clark's going to play the two with and Aaliyah Boston. So not Aaliyah Boston, sorry, Kelsey Mitchell. If it doesn't work out with Caitlin Clark the two, Kelsey Mitchell's going to be coming in and Caitlin Clark's there to be benched. She's in to replace Caitlin Clark. Obviously not. She's there to back up Caitlin. Play 5 minutes a game. Maybe 10 minutes on a good game. But yeah, so let's take a listen. She actually did say she was being interviewed and talking about it. So, she said here, when you were first with the Aces, you had Kelsey Plum, AJ Wilson, and Jackie Young, who were all number one picks. Now you have Aaliyah and Caitlin, who were top picks the last 2 years. Do you see similarities between how the Aces were built with those top Fever picks? She says, it takes time to build when you're getting players when they're young. A lot of people want to rush championships. Not something that happens overnight. It's a long process of figuring things out together. Sometimes you have to lose a lot. You learn from the losses and the wins. You make the semifinals. You make semifinals, you lose. Sometimes you have to get lucky and that doesn't take place. But it'll help vets coming in from winning cultures who understand what it takes to not get too high or too low in this league, because you can lose a bunch in a row and then you could hit your stride at the right point, be clicking and win a championship or make a finals run. We have a nice mixture and we have a nice core group of young players hungry to win and who are going to put in the work. And that's the truth. Like, a lot of it is about peaking at the right time. That's sports, though. An awful lot of sports, simply put, is just about who peaks at the right time. The winners, a lot of the time, are... Well, not a lot of time. Some of the time. It's going to be not really going to happen in the WNBA right now, because it's like best of... The annoying thing is that instead of making the first round best of 5... genuinely, like, instead of making it the first round best of 5, which makes more sense, they decided, so we're not going to make the first round best of 5, that's still best of 3, but the finals are best of 7. It just makes no sense. You're not going to see any Cinderella finals performances. Like, yeah, like, it's it is one of those things where it's like, the Fever are a team that when they're at their best, no one's going to be able to guard them. It's like no one could guard them last year. Like, the Fever at their best were the third best team in the WNBA. It was just the Sun they just matched up really, really well to the Fever. You had Dijonay, you had a smart coach who was able to game plan for Caitlin Clark. And also, we cannot forget, they had the Caitlin Clark stopper was in that series. Christy Sides was involved in that series. There's nobody. I'm telling you, not Dijonay, nobody. There was no better Caitlin Clark stopper than Christy Sides. Christy Sides taking the ball out of Caitlin Clark's hands in game 1. And in fairness, Caitlin Clark she missed a lot of shots. She was terrible that game. Taking the ball out of her hands at the end of the game, saying, Caitlin didn't have that many turnovers. Like, well, no shit, she didn't have the ball in her hand. But yeah, if they are a team that they peak at the right time, could be super dangerous. So let's read the second question. Last year, the Fever started slow and Caitlin and everyone started figuring it out and they made the playoffs. Now Caitlin will know what she's doing for a full season. You've vets like yourself in place to make sure stay on point for jump. She said it's a much easier transition now they have a year under their belts together, which would be scary. I'll be interested to be up close and personal with Caitlin and see what it's like day to day. And yeah, like, that's the thing where it's like, this team goes where Caitlin goes. Like, I think everyone kind of knows that, where it's like, even last year with the team, when Caitlin didn't play well, they only beat the Dream. Like, the only games they won all season with Caitlin Clark playing badly were, ironically, like, every game against the Dream. They swept the Dream, and Caitlin was not good. She was okay down the stretch of the last one, the overtime win. She was shook by the Dijonais comments in one of them, and she scored like 7 points. And even with the game, her scoring 7, her running the pick and roll with Leah Boston to close out that game is incredible. But that was, like, I think Leah Boston, if I'm not mistaken, did she set her career high 3 times against the Dream? Or was it twice? There was one game where Caitlin was unbelievable in the first half against the Dream. She had like 6, 4, and 4 in the first quarter, and then kind of slowed down a little bit. And yeah, it's they went where she went. And if Caitlin Clark had a bad game, or if Caitlin Clark just didn't have the ball in her hands, they didn't do anything last year. I think that's where it's going to be a little bit different. Is like, even it's going to be interesting to see with Stephanie White, because we'll see this year whether or not, obviously Caitlin playing off the ball, whether like a getting everyone touches or playing heliocentric is going to be better. Like, that's the one thing that might be a little bit of an issue, is that maybe Caitlin Clark is better as a heliocentric type point guard than she is as a kind of combo guard, where she plays a lot off the ball. Maybe she's more Luka with speed-esque than she is Steph Curry-esque. But only time will tell. Only time will tell. And it's going to be a real interesting season for the Fever. And it's good to see Sydney Coulson being like involved in, like, obviously Sydney Coulson is going to be she's going to be talking up her teammates. Look, Sydney Coulson is like known for being a locker room person. A lot of people are like, oh, she's going to destroy the Fever locker room. I'm like, a player known for literally just being a locker room person and a vet is going to destroy the Fever locker room. Like, there's some things where you're just like, you know what, you probably shouldn't complain too much about this. But yeah, it's all in all, I think the answers that Sydney Coulson gave were honestly good. I'm not gonna. There was nothing wrong with any of that, to be honest. And yeah, it's gonna be a fun season for Indiana. Like, I can see Indiana. I can genuinely see them going. I can't see them being lower than seed 4. I can see them maybe ending up 4. Maybe one of the Aces, or like the Aces maybe, or the Mercury if all works out. Maybe. Could end up like taking over, but at the same time, the Fever seems to be a lot better this year. They got the vets, they've got the young players, and yeah, like someone like a Sydney Colson, even just as a locker room player, could be really good. Anyway, I'll see you guys.